ツインズ戦で起きた大谷翔平とルーキー捕手ラッシングの緊迫した場面について、ドジャースの主軸マックス・マンシーとムーキー・ベッツが自身の番組でついに真相を語り、チームの快進撃やワールドシリーズ3連覇への覚悟、大谷山本の異次元の活躍、そして矢田先生のコンディショニング理論の衝撃まで明かしました。ここからはその様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
So right now, obviously we've been playing well. We got a little lead in our division, but obviously it's a long season. We have to continue to play to play well. What do you think will help us stay consistent as we keep going?
I think if just us trying to find a way to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, again, we've been through it. 162. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, but it's easier to go through all of that when you have your guys. Mm-hmm. When you got guys filling in, and and then our young guys are amazing. The guys that have come up and filled the roles, they've done an amazing job. You look what Ryan Ward did for us for a couple weeks there. Really, really good job. But when you have your guys, it just kind of makes it easier to go through those lulls, and you don't feel you feel like you're just showing up every single day and just doing the job.
Yeah,
and
doing what you need to do.
And I think for us, just being healthy is the key to us continuing to dominate throughout the season.
I would say the exact same thing. I mean, health is wealth at this point, especially for us. I mean, because we got the guys that we got when we're healthy is, it's
top notch.
Yeah, it's top notch. I mean,
on paper, you're not beating it.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
But again, like you look at how many guys we got on the IL right now, and some of the starting pitching we got on the IL, and Kike and Will and all these guys, and so just it'd be nice to get them all back at once, but at the same time, we don't need them back until October.
Yeah,
so
which is the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about being a Dodger. So, I want to talk a little bit about Shohei, Yoshi, how they've been doing this year, pitching wise, and really you can throw Robo in there as well. Yeah. They've really, every 5 days from my perspective, when one of them take the mound, it's like, I'm not saying it's a guaranteed win, but I am saying, like, if we can just figure out a way to score like 4 or 5, 3, 4, that gives us a real chance at it. And really seeing Shohei this year, his mindset on pitching is really neat for me. What about for you?
It's been really fun to watch. And, I think you would agree with this statement that Shohei likes to hit, but he loves to pitch.
I think he loves to pitch, yeah.
Like, he loves everything about pitching. He likes working at it. He likes talking about it. He likes scouting for it. When it comes to hitting, I always laugh at our hitters meetings. Middle.
Yeah, Shohei, yeah, because he does it.
Hey, what are you looking for today? Middle.
Yeah.
It's like, hitting just comes easy to him.
Yeah.
He just does it.
Which is crazy to say.
Yeah,
that's
but pitching, you see him out there every single day doing bullpens and working on his mechanics and working on throwing. And it's like the amount of work he puts in at pitching, I almost feel like if he did that for hitting, he'd be Ted Williams out there with the 400 average and 60 home runs. But, it's just, it's just insane to watch him do what he does every single day.
What's cool is to see, like, well, for me, it's to see, like, the personality difference.
Yeah.
Like, when he hits, he's just a normal guy. You can talk to him.
It's happy-go-lucky.
But when he pitches, it's like it's
a killer.
Yeah, he turns into a killer out there.
Yeah, man, don't talk to him, don't get in his way, don't mess him up.
Yeah.
Let him do his thing, make the plays behind him, but don't goof off around him.
Yeah. He don't like none of that.
Dead serious, but then when he's hitting, he's goofing off around everybody, and so
it's like it's just weird to see, but I mean, hey, I guess it is what it is. And then Yoshi, obviously, as much as he pitched last year, right? I think he was healthy all year last year.
Yeah.
Then pitched what he did in the postseason. And then to now come around and do what he's doing now, it's like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody stay healthy and be as good for this long.
I agree, but I'm also not surprised when I see what he does every single day.
Yeah, that's fair. If you saw his routine.
Doing handstands, breathing through the straws, the stuff that Sensei got him doing. Which you've been doing some of that too.
I have been doing some sensei.
Yeah.
I have been doing some sensei.
We saw him on your shoulders in spring training, you know. we all loved that one. That was great.
Yeah, that was good. I feel like sensei, he's awesome, man. He's done amazing for Yoshi. So I'm trying to do it to help me stay healthy a little bit.
You know, when you look at Yoshi, there's not the amount of work is second to none. But almost none of it is like weightlifting stuff.
No, it's none of it.
That's what's crazy about it. Is all the stuff that Sensei has him doing. It's all balance and you know core.
It's like finding your inner core muscles and like really using your body.
And that's the thing that's insane is he's putting in more work than anybody, and none of it involves touching a weight.
Yeah, which is, I mean, hey, good for him. And then obviously Robo. I think for like seeing Robo last year coming out of the bullpen. He did great.
Yeah.
He when he piggybacked, he did great. When he come in for one inning, he did great. And then now seeing him as a starter, I wasn't fully sure. I'm not saying anything negative, but I was like, I don't know how he'll be as a starter. And this dude has been awesome.
For me, I think he had to find a way to translate his mindset from coming out of the pen to being a starter. Because his mindset coming out of the pen is what you're seeing right now, the way he pitches right now. But before that, when he was a starter, I don't think his mindset was the same because, he did the thing where, the first pitch would be 92, then it'd be 92, and then there's 2 strikes, and then here's 97. And, when he came out of the pen, he was just letting it loose every single pitch. And, from what I've seen this year, that's what he's been doing right out of the gate. There's still some times where he might, take a little off here and there, save some, but from what I've seen from him, he's just had that mindset that I'm going to attack you. I'm going to attack every single batter right out of the gate, and I'm not going to let off the gas. And, he's got the stuff to be able to do that. And sometimes when you have that stuff, you have to have the mindset to back that up. And I think
agree. They match.
I think that's what he's found.
He gets up. And I see him now, and I'm sure you do as well. Like, I see him study. I see him doing all the things that he needs to do to be successful prior to.
Yeah, he puts in the work.
Yeah, and now when he gets up there, you can see his confidence. You can see how much he competes. And to your point, he has the stuff to do it, match with the mindset. And so this isn't luck. I feel like this is like Robo is a really good pitcher.
Yeah, there's nothing about this that is luck. And, like you said, him putting in the work, doing the scouting and everything, like I love seeing that from like an offensive player. Because I feel like we sit there and we do so much scouting and video, looking at video about the opposing pitcher. And then I feel like they're just like, okay, all right, I'm going to go out there and pitch. Like,
it doesn't work.
And so I love to see our pitchers put in that kind of work and do their homework on what pitch can I throw to certain guys? What zones can I attack? I like seeing the pitcher put in that kind of work, and you see the results when they do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about some of the new guys. You mentioned Wardo. He came up while Teo was down, did an amazing job, made some nice plays, which was huge, right? Because a lot of these guys, when they come up or come in, I don't think they realize how much we pay attention to defense. Like we really do care about hitting and we want guys to hit and all this other stuff. But like we pay a lot of attention to defense. And I feel like that's that's really what helps us a lot. So Wardo did an amazing job with that on top of hitting. Tuck coming in. This is his first year. What do you got on Tuck?
I can't think of Tuck without thinking of Miggy Rowe calling him drunk Tuck in the outfield, I can't.
Just the way he catches the fly balls.
He catches everything, though.
Yeah,
he catches
does.
Everything. Nothing gets by him, and it doesn't always look pretty, but
he does.
He's all. I love when he tosses the ball back in, and Miggy's doing the same thing, trying to catch the ball. But no, I think Tuck's. I think he's a great player. I think he's obviously kind of going through it a little bit right now. But we all love him. We all want him to do well, and I think he's going to find his way.
Yeah.
He's first year, new team, big contract. There's a lot of pressure on him. I think he's feeling it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be fine.
The reason why I think he'll get it is because I really believe that even though there's pressure on the outside, I don't really feel like there's any real pressure on him. And I think that he will get it just because as we go through some of these pressure games, them big games, he won't have to feel like he has to do it because we all do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, none of this is resting on his shoulders. You know, and we split that pretty evenly between all of us. And you know, I think the other thing for him too, and you know, I don't know if he'll admit this or not, but his first year with a baby.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about it.
Yeah,
yeah,
and you know, that can change things a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that's we can speak from experience on that. That can change things a lot. And so I think, you know, he's figuring out how to be dad at home, you know, and be this baseball player also. And you know, that's a lot of stress that I just don't think people realize gets put on us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's another hat we got to put on.
Because we all want to be the best baseball player we can be, but we want to be a better dad. And so it's just a lot of pressure.
It's like your priorities. I'm not saying they shift a little bit. I mean,
they definitely shift.
You know, it kind of is what it is. I mean, being a dad, and it almost like it takes over. It really kind of takes over because baseball is like really your baby. Like I remember getting to the field early all the time. I mean, everything was baseball all day, every day. And now that you have kids, it's like, well, baseball has to go to the side while you're at home. Yeah, because you don't want to. You
can't carry what you can't carry over what happens at the field to home.
Yeah, that's not fair to them.
It's not fair to the kids. Not fair to your wife. And you know, it just whether you have a good game or a bad game, you can't bring that home. You know, you have to find a way to separate the two. Doesn't mean you can't think about them, but like you have to find a way to separate the two. And so when you get home, you got to be dad. You got to be husband. You got to be nothing at the field can carry over to what's going on at home.
Right.
You know, just. Like you said, it's not fair to them, and you want them to have the best upbringing they can possibly have, and you know that can't happen if you're not fully engaged when you're there.
Exactly. So I do want to ask you: is it different for you to be hitting seventh? You know, you've hit seventh a couple times in the lineup, especially when everybody's in, and you're leading. I think you were leading third baseman in votes in the All-Star or whatever. Like, is it different for you? Because like for you'd be hitting second, third, fourth in any other team, really.
You know, with our team, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's, you know, because, you know, from like a selfish standpoint, you want to hit in certain spots because you want opportunities to, you know, to drive guys in, but honestly, like with our lineup, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to get the opportunity regardless. If you're hitting first, ninth, fifth, eighth, it doesn't really matter. You're going to have opportunities to drive runs in. You're going to have opportunities to get big hits. If I'm being totally honest, and this is something I never realized because, like you said, I'd always hit more middle of the order, top of the order. When you bat down at the bottom, you don't get as many at bats per game. So if you get that 1 for 3, or for me, you know me because I walk. If you get that 1 for 2 and you have a walk. Your numbers look a lot better than if you're getting 5 at bats, 6 at bats a game.
But with us though, you probably are getting.
Yeah, we're still getting 6 at bats a game. Doesn't matter
4 or 5 at bats. So yeah, but I do batting fourth. It's different because there are times when I do get that 1 for 3, and you know, or 1 for 3 with a walk or whatever. But when you're leading off, batting second, which we've done together, like you're constantly getting 5, 6 at bats. When you're going through it, like. It tanks.
And in our order, you always feel like you're getting your stuff on to get ready to hit too.
Every inning.
That's one thing I remember when you bat second, third. You just feel like you're always putting your stuff on to get ready to hit. It comes up quick,
which is good. That's good.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. All right. I also want to talk about Rush a little bit. I know Rush. It's a lot for him. Seeing Smitty not there, I think. I in specific took for granted how much he carried for us, especially on the pitching side. And now seeing Rush kind of going through it and seeing like how hard it is for him and how he's stepping up, and he's doing his best. Like he needs experience, right? And this is his experience, and I feel like he's learning on the fly. He is getting better. He's getting better, and it takes a little time, right? But you know, seeing not having Smitty and seeing what he did for the pitching staff on top of hitting makes me really appreciate, wow, Will Smith really does do a lot for us. And now having Rush try and step in and do that, that's really hard for him, especially being a rookie.
Yeah, well, let's start by saying Rush is doing an amazing job.
He's doing an amazing job.
But like you said, it does make you appreciate exactly what Will does. And, Will was the same when he was at that stage.
Yep, exactly.
Will had to learn.
Yep.
And, Will had to learn with Kirsch,
which is much tougher.
A little bit tougher, I mean, and I think, but I also think that's one of the things that was good for Will. And I think, you look at what Rush is doing with Shohei and with Yama, like it's good for him to understand. And, we talk about this in the infield all the time, like why we call in certain pitches in these situations. And, not that we're second guessing anybody, but you start getting this feel for the game that I think Rush is still learning. Sometimes it's okay to get away from what the sheet is telling you to call. And that was the thing that I think Will learned with Kirsch a lot. Because, what's Kirsch throwing? He's throwing a fastball slider, and it's going to be into a right-handed batter. Well, there's a lot of times when Will would look at the sheet and be like, well, we can't throw a slider to this guy. He hits it. And it's like, that's what Kirsch is going to throw. That's his best pitch. He needs to throw it. And I think that helped Will learn. Sometimes it's okay to go off script and, do things that maybe the data says is not what you should do. And I think, that's one thing that we would agree Rush is learning, especially with Shohei. Shohei wants to throw certain pitches in certain locations, and maybe the data says that's not the best thing to do. But, when the pitcher is convicted in doing that, you have to go off what the pitcher wants, especially when it's a guy like Shohei, Yama,
I mean, really, everybody in our staff.
Yeah.
At some point, he'll be, when Snell and all these guys get back, like he'll be catching all those guys.
Yeah, and
as well.
There's times where, hey, that's probably not the pitch you should throw, but that's what the pitcher really wants to throw, and so you got to let him do it, and you got to make sure you're behind him. And I think that's one of the things that Rush is learning, and it's it does make you appreciate Will, because Will's grown so much in that aspect of it that there's no second guessing what he's calling back there, and the pitchers have given full trust to Will, and I feel like Will's hardly ever shaken off. Like it's very few times, and. We go to Will. One of the things I love when Yama's pitching, and I know you've seen this. Yama goes to his pitch comm, right? And he'll call a pitch, and he looks at Will, and he's like, he wants to make sure Will thinks it's a good pitch to throw. And then that's where Will's like, if that's what you want to throw, then yes.
Yeah.
Like that's
for sure.
That's the best pitch you should throw.
For sure. I knew, and then I know I want to speak a little bit about the situation in Minnesota with Rush and Shohei. Obviously, we all, everybody kind of saw it. That was really kind of I feel like a huge moment for Rush there. When they go down and whatnot, we got to go down and. Look at me and you down there. We just being nosy.
Nosy. Wait, what y'all doing down there?
Yeah, that's what I was being nosy, man. I was really just kind of seeing how this is going to play out. Like what was possibly going to be said.
I think it was a good growing moment.
For sure.
Obviously you don't want any of that to happen with your teammates, but I think it's a good growing moment for both guys. Because, Show's not always going to be able to throw to Will.
Right.
And, for Rush, he's got to learn that and this is one of those moments where it was like, hey, sometimes Show wants to throw a pitch that maybe isn't the best pitch to throw. And I think that's what Rush was kind of learning in that moment. And, sometimes things can speed up during the game. And I think that's a little bit what happened there. And again, like we've said before, it's experience that you learn how to deal with that the more you've been in those types of situations.
And what I really enjoyed was like how Rush later on took accountability, and he knows that he has a lot on his plate. Hey, he really knows it.
You're the catcher for a staff that's first in baseball in a lot of categories. So that's a lot on your plate, and he's done an amazing job handling it.
He's done a great job handling it, and I think. He'll just keep learning. And then as Smitty comes back, I'm sure he'll learn even quicker.
Look, not one of us knew how to handle that situation at that stage.
No, we all had to learn.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
I mean, how many times were you peeking around the corner and I was breaking a bat down in the tunnel or something, you know?
Which I love, by the way. I love that.
But, you know, like, we've all been there. You have to learn, you have to grow, and you can't do that until you've experienced it. And, you know, that's what he's going through right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to talk a little bit about, you know, pursuing the three-peat. Obviously, everyone knows that. What do you think we really need to do to get there?
Man, we just keep doing the same thing we've been doing. And it's, you know, for us, again, we show up every single day. We don't let anything carry over from previous days, except for on the bus. You know, everything's fair game on the bus. But like in terms of the game, we don't let anything carry over from previous days, whether you've had 3 home runs, 3 strikeouts, 10 punch outs, no punch outs, you know, you made 3 errors, you made 3 diving plays. Like nothing carries over to the next day. You show up every single day, you do your routine, you got to work, you're 0 for 0, you got to go out there and play that game. And we do such a good job of like, that's all we focus on is, all right, what are we doing today to win this game? You know,
today,
you know, we're facing Ginn today. And, you know, what are we going to do to beat him? Well, then now we're going to face whoever tomorrow. Like, we don't know who we're facing tomorrow. We don't care until it's tomorrow. And then we face that guy. And then, you know, every day you show up with that kind of attitude and that mindset. And, you know, we've done that the last several years, and that's kind of been what's gotten us over that hump. And, you know, we just got to keep doing that, I think.
Do you think there's a difference in energy this year than other years? Like nervous energy? For me, I think that the energy is, we don't even think about three-peat or any of that. I think we're just thinking about, to your point, like one game at a time, and then eventually we'll get there.
You know what I think, honestly? We got a bunch of guys that we're getting old, and I think some of us are starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel. And so I think we've got a bunch of guys that are trying to enjoy being out there every single day as much as possible. And, you know, Miggy Rowe's the leader of that, obviously, but like, I just don't think we have time to let anything else like worry us. We just want to enjoy being with the boys out there every single day, working and playing and winning. And you know, I don't think any of that other stuff's on our mind.
I don't think so either. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think, you know, we just have fun every day, man. And like you said, half of us don't have much longer left. And so, and I would venture to bet that not many of us have been in clubhouses that have all been in the same mindset, you know, going through it the same way and enjoying it this way. And I mean, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But, you know, that was something that we had to build. And that was a lot of years of us, you know, not achieving our full potential for that to happen. And, you know, now we've reached that point to where we don't even think about it. We just show up and how can we have fun today? That's all we're thinking about.
Speaking of having fun, I know after winning the series, Miggy Rowe brought this back in, I think, 23. And it was because it was him and Peralta. DP. Yeah. So we started doing the shot after the end of winning a series, and I think that really kind of helped us play one game at a time, one series at a time. And you know, so what it is, you know, after we win a series, Miggy talks, and we basically name a player of the series. It could be a pitcher, it could be anybody. And we take a shot for winning the series, and then we take a picture, which we all get at the end of the year, which is really neat just to see all the different faces who were the player of the series. They're the ones taking the picture, and I think it really kind of keeps us grounded, I would say.
Yeah, it was cool. And you know, it was something that I had never realized, but, you know, Miggy and Peralta, they talked about it that year, and they said, you know, we take winning for granted. Like, we don't appreciate the win enough. And, you know, they had been some places where winning was kind of rare, and, you know, that helped us kind of understand that, like, winning games is special. We were just so used to winning that, you know, we didn't fully appreciate it. And so now it's like, hey, we appreciate every single win because, you know, you play the series. And you win that first game. We got one more until we're taking shots. And then, you know, you do that and it's like, hey, with sweep today, with taking shots. Like it's
今回のマンシーとベッツの対談は、セーバーメトリクスのデータだけでは測れない現代ドジャースの強さの真髄を示していました。特にツインズ戦の大谷とラッシングの工作は、データに基づくピッチコーリングと投手の確信の摩擦です。今季の大谷は FIP やウィップで驚異的な数値を叩き出していますが、それは魔球スイーパーや高速カッターの精度向上といったピッチデザインの賜物です。データが危険を示していても、マウンドの怪物が投げたいと欲するなら捕手は直感を信じて受けるべきウィル・スミスがかつて学んだ。この台本破りの領域に、今ラッシングも直面しており、最高のゲームマネジメントの洗礼と言えます。また山本由伸が IL を回避した快王を維持する背景に、矢田先生のウェイトに頼らない体感理論があることも、近代野球の常識を覆しています。過酷な162試合を勝ち抜き、3ピートを果たすには、ABS チャレンジの成否や、個人の OPS 以上にこうした肉体のメンテナンスと信頼関係が不可欠です。皆さんは、大谷のキラーマインドとラッシングの成長についてどう感じましたか？ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。最後までご覧いただきありがとうございます。ドジャースの3連覇への道、そして大谷山本の進化から目が離せませんね。皆さんの熱い考察コメントをお待ちしています。チャンネル登録と高評価もぜひよろしくお願いします。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。